So, are these inexpensive GoPro lookalike action cams any good? Well, I'm going to give it a test. Catch you inside.
Revelator Alf.
Hello, welcome to Revelator Alf, Biker's Life Less Ordinary. So in this video, basically I'm going to get out on the bike in a minute and I'm going to do a comparison test between this Red 5 action cam, and there's lots of these sort of inexpensive GoPro type cameras on the market, and do a comparison between this. I'm going to do the GoPro Hero 4 and what I'm actually filming on, which is a Drift HD. They're all going to be shooting in 1080, so full HD. So I'm going to go and just ride a couple of back lanes and try and get it into different scenarios. Then come back, do a bit of face to camera, and then we'll have a direct comparison between the three and see what you think. Right, so I'm just going to get on this little back road here. It's a little twisties, and it's great if you get a little run on it, a little clear run. It's quite a nice one actually. It started off so calm this morning, but now it's blowing a hoolie. You might see it from the trees and the leaves swaying there. There we go, so it's a bit of a cutting crosswind here. There we go. Whoop. Right, so I must add a little bit of fairness to this test. This is not an audio test, this is purely just a video test, a video quality test. Of the Red 5 and how's it compared to the GoPro Hero 4 and the Drift HD. Unstabilized, so the GoPro and the Drift is actually mounted on my helmet, so I've got a bit of natural stabilization, and you can check out my other videos to how to do that. But the Red 5 is actually mounted to the bike, so it's going to pick up more vibration anyway, so you're going to have to forgive it for that, or allow for that, I would say. So I'm kind of doing it a bit of a disservice really, but I suppose this test is really to see whether this GoPro, whether this Red 5 is going to be at least good enough to use as an additional camera on the bike or on your helmet, and just to get extra footage. I think it will be. I think it's going to be, if it's shooting in 1080, I think it's definitely going to be good enough to get that extra bit of footage. And it's a, you know, a cheap camera at the end of the day. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to swap over now the GoPro with the Red 5, so you got a stabilized view of the Red 5 as well. So just bear with me 1 second. Right, so I've got it mounted now on the helmet. The GoPro is mounted on the bike. The Drift is still on the helmet. So we're just going to test this Red 5 for stabilized view-ish on the helmet and see how that works out. Right then, let's try this then. So initially a bit into the sun, and then we'll come away from that, make a right turn, hopefully get a better view out of all three cameras anyway, because we're away from the sun. There we go, right, that should be better. Back on the twisties, back to the office. Now on the face of it, this Red 5 or these inexpensive GoPro lookalike cameras are a good buy. However, you got to look at sort of audio quality, build quality, batteries, getting spares, you know, spare batteries, that kind of thing, because I can already tell that this battery on here doesn't last long at all. So you got to kind of look at that. Now in the pack it comes with a protective case, a waterproof case. It comes with, you know, charger and attachments, a handlebar mount as well. So, you know, it's a good all-around package for about £30–40 or whatever. So it's not bad at all, I've got to say. But the proof will be, I'm not expecting much from the audio. I'm not expecting much at all from it as a long-term camera in terms of build quality. But as a short-term thing, or just have as an extra camera for extra footage, another angle, that's what I'm primarily looking at here. I suppose what I'm looking at from a video point of view is the tones of the footage, obviously the clarity and everything like that, but the tones of the footage, that's what I'm really looking at. If it's a kind of a match for the Drift and the GoPro, if it's not too dissimilar, then I think it would work. Otherwise you're going to have sort of different footage, and the quality and the colours will work slightly differently. I mean, if you want everything to match up, you should have all GoPros or all Drifts, whatever, really. If you really want to have something, always have the same camera. However, what I'm talking about is not having the same camera and seeing how they work. You know, is it usable footage? Let's put it that way. Now, dare say it's all going to be usable footage, but it's whether the quality is good enough. Now, this is only shooting in 1080. It's not shooting in 4K. But I just don't think you need to a lot of the time. You know, there's great movement to go to 4K in a lot of videos, but you know, most people are still watching it on their mobile phones. Whilst the quality is great, yeah, I'm not sure you definitely need it, especially for motor vlogging. I could be wrong, but so if you're on 1080, if they're all shooting on 1080, then you've got a cheap alternative here. Okay, right, that's enough of the motor vlogging bit, testing it on the bike. Let's get it back and just test it in the office and see how we fare. Right, so now this is basically just an inside test, really, of the video. So this is the Drift. This is what shooting in 1080. This is the GoPro, also shooting in 1080, both at 25 frames per second. And this is what I normally shoot at, 1080, 25 frames per second. This is the Red 5. So this is the inside quality. What I'm going to do, I'm going to mash it all together. I'm going to give it a side-by-side comparison, either between the Red 5 and the GoPro, or the Red 5 and the Drift. And you make your own mind up. Which do you think is best? Which do you think should be a primary camera and which to be a secondary? Personally, I would say, looking at the footage, I would say the Drift and the GoPro are at an even keel, really. The Red 5, I would say, whilst it is a decent picture and it's a decent video quality, I don't think it's the same level as the GoPro and the Drift. However, it's still pretty decent quality. So as a backup camera, as a second camera for extra angles, I'd say it's perfect. And also it's cheap. Now, this is purely a test comparison of audio, inbuilt microphone audio from the Red 5 and also the GoPro. So this does not have an external mic on the Red 5, so this is just a sound quality test. Also, there isn't an external mic attached on the GoPro, so again, this is just an internal microphone test. Both cameras are naked, in other words, they are outside of their protective casing, which will muffle the sound anyway on a GoPro as well. Although this is a bit of a skeleton case, which will allow a bit of extra sound. However, I usually film with a GoPro with a complete skeleton case, but obviously that's not waterproof. So this is purely an audio test. Now the purpose Now the purpose of this video was not to test the audio per se of the Red 5, it's merely a test of the video quality. So I'll let you make up your mind which you think is best. Well, I hope you found this video useful. At least it gives you an idea of the comparison between your higher range cameras, whether older or whether newer, and the cheaper alternatives on the market. Look, they have a purpose. They certainly will do a job for you. If you're looking for multiple cameras and you want to produce something quite cheaply, I think that they're not a bad option, especially now they're shooting in 1080. You're talking, you know, £200 or £300 for a GoPro Drift, let's say. You can pick these up for £30 or £40. So, you know, but I suppose you get what you pay for. I mean, let's not forget about that. Generally wise, the kit that comes with it, it's pretty good. It's got a lot of attachments in there. I'm not sure about the battery life or quality or accessories, but I think it's, you know, at that price, it's kind of, you get it. You don't invest any more into it. Once it goes kaput, that's it. It's kaput. Right. Hope you found this useful. As I say, please give the channel a subscribe, like the video or not, and leave comments below. Let me know what you think of these cheaper alternative cameras as well. Anyway, hopefully it was quite a balanced test for you, so it gives you an all-round idea of what it's like. Right, catch you on the next video, whenever that is. Cheers now.